Hey folks, Liam here. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I haven't been posting videos more regularly, but I'm going to try to be better on that. Today I want to talk about this quote unquote supply chain problem that we have. We don't have a supply chain problem, we have a government problem. The government has screwed this whole thing up. Last time I checked, we have Christmas every year. Last time I checked, we've been ordering products online for decades, literally now. And we didn't have this problem. We haven't had this problem before, not to this extent. We certainly didn't have it last year, and that was during the height of the pandemic. So the real problem is our government, and particularly the governments of the state of California and our federal government. The state of California and the California Air Resources Board, called CARB, have put all these rules and regulations in place so that truckers don't want to go into California. They don't want to have to comply or to abide by all the silly rules and regulations that California's put in place. And that's keeping a lot of the truckers from going in there. You hear people talking about having a trucker shortage. Well, we've had a trucker shortage ever since I've been driving a truck. They've talked about being short anywhere from 80 to 100,000 drivers every year for the last 10 years. But yet, this is the first time we've had hundreds of ships sitting off the shore that couldn't be unloaded. So that tells me that the shortage of trucks or truckers is not the issue. Um, it, you know, these docks are operated by union workers, and regardless of your opinion of what you think about unions, we're all entitled to our opinions. But from my perspective, it seems that unions have outlived their usefulness. They seem to come in and screw up pretty much every industry that they are heavily represented in. The teachers' unions are screwing up our education system. The unions screwed up the auto industry, and that resulted in the auto industry moving to places where there were non-union workers. And the bakers union, I don't know if you remember, they screwed around with Hostess and the makers of the famous Twinkies, and basically shut them down. And another company had to buy the trademarks and start making Twinkies again. And now they're these folks that work at the ports um, are being adversely affected by these unions. So anyway, it's questionable to me as to whether or not the unions have a useful purpose anymore, and they seem to screw up more than they fix. But this is not this is not a trucker shortage or anything. This is a self-inflicted wound brought on by either incompetence or downright determination to ruin our economy by our state and federal governments, particularly the state of California's government. We didn't have this problem last year in the height of the pandemic, so it's not a COVID-19 thing. So anyway, you're being fed a line of bull. Jen Psaki stands up in front of the White House in front of the White House press room and says that the problem is caused because people are ordering too much stuff online. We've been ordering stuff online for literally decades now, and we've never had this problem before. We have Christmas every year. We haven't had these types of shortages and all of that sort of thing in the past year. So this is a government created problem, and it's not not a trucker shortage. It's not all the other things they lead you to believe. It's literally the government's being run by a bunch of people that don't understand business. They've never had a real job. They don't know how to run a business. They don't know how business works. They don't know how a supply chain works. And they go in and they start messing with stuff, putting mandates in place and all of that, and then they screw things up. And then they come out and, Joe Biden comes out and says, hey, we've got a solution to the problem. We're going to run the ports. We're going to have our supply chains operate 24/7. Guess what, Joe? Supply chains have been operating 24/7 for years and years, if not decades. It's like that's no new solution. They're already running 24/7. If the ports aren't open 24/7, then that's probably because of some negotiated union contract or some government regulation. But the capability is there. So anyway, I just I just wanted to touch base and say, look, this is all a created problem. There is a solution though. Things that are built by American workers in America don't have to come in on a boat. They're already here. So when you have an opportunity to buy a product, I mean, the price of everything's going up anyway now anyway. So why not buy an American-made product if you can find one? I know here earlier this year when I started looking for phones, I was determined that I was not going to buy a Chinese manufactured phone. And it's extremely hard to find a phone that's not made in China. But I wound up buying a Samsung product, which they're Korean. But even those have to come in on the boat. If there was a U.S.-based phone manufacturer, then by God, I'd be buying a phone from them. But unfortunately, those don't exist. But there are a lot of categories of products where things are available that are made in America. Clothes. There's American Giant is a company that I buy their sweatshirts and stuff. They're more expensive, but they're very well made. They employ American workers, and it's a product that when you buy a product like that, then you're supporting our economy and not China. So I don't get any money from American Giant. That's just one example of a product that popped into my head. There's also a lot of American-made furniture makers, and there are also, believe it or not, American-made toy manufacturers. So this Christmas, why not look for toys for your kids that are made in America? They probably won't have a screen on them, but there are plenty of toys that are made in America for kids that kids will enjoy, and I encourage you to look for those. And actually American-made products in all categories. So with that, I want to close. I appreciate you tuning in. If you got any value out of this, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to be doing a video here in a little bit on these mandates and how the shot mandate really does not exist. So hopefully you'll watch that. And I know I went a little long tonight, but I wanted to make a point about this supply chain thing. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.